Vettel's error earlier on, a couple of laps ago, maybe even the last lap, but Gasly's closing that gap to Perez. It's now down to 1.3 seconds, so a couple of tenths in the first sector. Is this Gasly?
Let's get him. He's struggling.
Yeah, Gasly being told he's struggling. Let's go get him.
As always, a great midfield fight in Formula One. Perez 5th in a Racing Point, 6th Gasly in an AlphaTauri, 7th Sainz in a McLaren.
What's the fastest lap?
It's an 18.9. 18.9.
Is up the road. Sometimes they're with these midfielders, but they are improving slowly, and Leclerc's been on fire this weekend. But still, 4 different teams fighting over 5th place, and they have been all race. Sainz led the Grand Prix earlier on, then Gasly blasted through on a great run on the soft tyres. Looked like he'd have it. Ricciardo at one point looked like he might go to the end in the Renault. He's now wilted back, and Ocon's now Renault's main hope. And in all of that, Perez is now occupying 5th place in the Racing Point, despite a tangle on the opening lap. 2 pit stops, and he's there trying to survive, but still Gasly 4 tenths quicker on the last lap. The gap is 1 second, and Gasly's going to have some DRS.
Fascinating fight for 5th in the closing stages of this Portuguese Grand Prix at the Portimao circuit, the Algarve. Great track, very well attended as well, which is really nice to see.
This guy.
Copy, on your front, right
I
behind
almost
you.
destroyed him.
Grand Prix, I have to say, obviously it's been pretty straightforward up at the front, but it was less straightforward than a lot of Grand Prix have been up at the front. We had Carlos Sainz lead it in the early stages, but then Hamilton just gets in his groove and disappears. 23 seconds now ahead of Bottas. Here's Verstappen's radio.
What's the fastest lap?
It's an 18.9. 18.9.
It's an 18.7 now, I'm afraid, GP, because Hamilton crosses the line to go quicker still. 2 seconds clear of Bottas. He's putting that salt in that wound here. And here is Gasly, right on the back of Perez, on the run down towards turn 1. Very, very defensive, aggressive driving from Sergio Perez to keep 5th position. I thought for all the world that was going to be a crash. Somehow it was not.
Perez moving very, very late, going with Gasly to the inside of the road, then trying to swap back towards the outside.
Yeah, my front is really something.
Copy, 3 laps to go, so you have Bottas behind, and blue flag for Bottas.
But they've got away with it for another day. Carlos Sainz right with them. It's a 3-car scrap for 5th, and I think Perez is going to have his work cut out to keep 5th position.
Lap 64 of 66, Gasly's radio.
This guy.
Copy, on your front, right
I
behind
almost
you.
destroyed him.
Gasly complaining on the radio. The engineer knew what Gasly was going to be saying there and was like, yeah, but, you know, let's focus. Here they come. Up towards the left-hander of turn 11. Turn 12. Just getting the replay on board with Gasly. Oh, right on the... When you think of... Was it Grosjean at Silverstone? That's a pretty strong swerve from Perez, I have to say. He did leave a car's width, is the only defence you give Perez there.
Yeah, he left the car's width. It was right on the limit. It was similar to Grosjean at Silverstone. Grosjean got a black and white flag there.
On the outside.
Hang on the inside, but Gasly does it right round the outside at the first corner. Brilliant move from Gasly, kept within track limits as well, and the Frenchman is up into 5th place. This is the reason Red Bull promoted him to the main squad last season. It didn't work out for him there, but in AlphaTauri, he is absolutely flying. Lewis Hamilton has a lap and a half to go before he beats Michael Schumacher's record of 91 Grand Prix wins to seal his 92nd in Portugal this afternoon. It's been quite an entertaining race, really. Up at the front, Carlos Sainz in the McLaren made the best start, as it was cold and drizzly at the beginning. Sainz took the lead. Hamilton dropped down to 3rd. The Mercedes got back into 1st and 2nd spot. That's Pierre Gasly saying round the outside, which is what he managed to do on Sergio Perez a few moments ago for 5th position. But
Okay, final lap. Final lap.
does. He found the pace. He managed to overtake Bottas. He's now 25 seconds clear of his Mercedes teammate, Jolyon Palmer. Hamilton could pit on this last lap, change his tyres, still come out and win the Grand Prix ahead of Bottas.
Just about, but it's been such a dominant drive from Hamilton. He's at the pace and he's made it look very easy.
Pierre Gasly has just overtaken Sergio Perez to move up into 5th position. Carlos Sainz in the McLaren has now followed suit. So the order as they come towards the final couple of corners is Hamilton leading, Bottas 2nd, Verstappen 3rd in the Red Bull, Charles Leclerc in 4th, Pierre Gasly in 5th. But the sound you can hear now is Lewis Hamilton going up through the gears, then he'll go down through the gears through the right-hander of turn 11. He's about to enter the Formula One history books. He already has the record for the most pole positions in the history of F1, which is a great stat in itself. Let's not get it wrong, but you don't get any points for pole position. You don't win any titles with pole position. Race wins and world championship titles is where it's at. Michael Schumacher is still one ahead in terms of world championship titles, but he is no longer the record holder of Formula One Grand Prix wins. That now belongs to Lewis Hamilton, who puts another claim on becoming the greatest Formula One driver of all time. Victory in Portugal, a record-breaking 92 Grand Prix wins, and in such dominant fashion. 25 seconds clear of his teammate Valtteri Bottas. This is a drive that really proves why he's in this conversation of the greatest driver of all time.
Dominant, absolutely dominant. Actually lost the lead at the start, had to do it the really the hard way, fighting back, passing his teammate on track, and then clearing off, absolutely clearing off from Bottas. Bottas had